Now, cost of operation. I've seen a lot of this. I know that it comes up a lot, and so I'll put some numbers out there. I mean, these are kind of, it's not super accurate. Like I said, I put an engine in the plane this year, so that's going to skew a lot of things. But I figured I would recap my costs this year, take it for what you will. Breaking down the costs, insurance for me was high in the first year because I had no time and type. Higher than I thought it should be, to be honest, because I do have reasonable complex hours and not an instrument rating. So my insurance was about $5,000, a little under $5,000. It was like $4,800 or something like that. And so that was steep. This year, the second year, I just went with a different insurance company, but it's quite a bit less than that. Shopped around, got a better rate. I forget, I think it was $3,300 or something like that. More hours and probably better job shopping around. The hangar. So I own my hangar, and that overall for the year, the hangar itself, which was basically its dues and taxes and that sort of thing, it's in a hangar complex, was just under $2,000. And then heat and electricity for the hangar I pay for. Obviously we have cold winters here too, and the heat was relatively expensive. That was probably another $900. So the hangar all told was just a little bit less than $3,000 probably. Which, as far as hangars go in the Chicago area, is probably not too bad actually. Let's see. I think in terms of fuel burn, I was running it lean. I don't have a lot of experience on the new engine. It's going to be a little higher. Last year, though, on the old engine, I was running usually about 12.5, 13 gallons an hour as far as a cruise fuel burn, so on those longer flights. So you could use that. I did about 100 hours last year, so, if you say $7 a gallon roughly now, it's about $9,000 in fuel for 100 hours of flight time last year. Also, annual. So this one's a little tricky. I did the annual with the engine, and I don't really have the bill yet. I think the base annual on that plane, if nothing's wrong, is just south of $3,000. They rigged the landing gear, and there were a couple of electrical shorts with the lighting, the dash lighting. All told, I'm guesstimating it's going to be about $4,000, because really there was nothing major wrong with it. There were those couple items. I'll know more soon when I get the bill, but I'm going to guesstimate it as about a $4,000 annual. Other surprises along the way, the old engine. Well, first of all, when I bought the plane, it needed tires. Tires were pretty bald, so a couple months in, I put tires on it. That was about just under $700. Not terrible, I guess. The avionics were a little sticky. I mentioned that. The HSI and the altimeter needed a little bit of work. Luckily, not a lot. That was another just under $800 for avionics work. And also, as luck would have it, right before I got my new engine, the starter adapter was slipping. So I had a new starter adapter, fuel lines, and an oil change all kind of done about the same time. And that was about $2,600 all told. So when I take all of that, again, outside the engine, because the engine was a big expense, obviously, but that's not going to happen every year, let's hope. But if I take those things, some maintenance items, the insurance, the fuel burn for 100 hours on average, the hangar costs, it's around $25,000, maybe a little less than $25,000 this past year, which for 100 hours of flight time would be about $250 an hour, and that's fixed and variable costs. So that gives you an idea of what it's cost me, and so again, take that for what you will. Hopefully next year will be similar, because I think this was generally a pretty good year, actually. There weren't too many major items. So I'm hopeful that next year will be similar. So there you have it, total cost of ownership. And I did not include anything in terms of like interest payments or anything like that for any loans. I figure depending on what you do, that'll depend on how you buy it. So until then, keep the blue side up.